Hey, this is just a quick disclaimer that there will be spoilers. If you don't care about spoilers, just ignore this part. The episode only came out a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to do it as a Ryanimation review. I don't consider my Proud Family and Turn Red reviews as Ryanimation reviews, because I didn't technically really restart the series yet. Plus, those were more first impressions. This one I watched a couple of times before reviewing it, which is why I'm considering it a Ryanimation review. Plus, it's more noticeable. People like it like this here. If you want my short answer, I really enjoyed the series finale. This won't be my last time ever talking about this show, or even this episode, but Frog Tales is cancelled for now due to lack of views. Maybe someday I'll bring it back, I don't know. But I will find other ways to talk about Amphibia in the future. Alright, let's begin. So, Amphibia has finally come to an end. I really love this show. It just might be my favorite Disney cartoon of all time. Heck, it might be my favorite show of all time. At least one that is actually finished. I still love SpongeBob more personally, but that show hasn't ended yet and it's technically still making new episodes. In terms of shows start to finish, Amphibia is the best. So let's get right down to it and talk about that finale. Holy fucking shit, this is epic. I think to talk about what makes this episode work is to bring up how we got here. I want to talk about the journey as a whole before we talk about the end of the journey. See all of this here?
Let's go punch that moon in its big ugly face.
You call that a choice?
Of course we'll help.
You'd be surprised what makes its way back to you.
I think to explain what makes this work is how we got here. Even clicking on this video, what made you want to hear someone talk about this amazing series finale? The TLDR is because it's amazing, but for this Ryanimation review, it's best to talk about what makes series finales great. Because watching clips as a whole won't do a thing justice, and that goes for any product. A thing that makes a product good is the context surrounding it.
No!
So what? There's probably more in the kitchen anyway.
No, that was the last piece in the house.
Last piece? I'll kill you!
Out of context, you probably wouldn't get that sketch, or think that was terribly animated. But when you realize that it comes from something called Eddsworld, you realize it's from a very popular web series, if you know what that series is and have watched it. To me, that's what makes a show great. The only question that you can ask when watching any show is, am I having fun? If the answer is yes, then you're watching a good show. If the answer is no, then you're watching a bad show. We will begin the elaboration. One 11-minute episode that's bad isn't that bad. The worst that happens is that some random people on the internet throw a tantrum and then they calm down. It's different though if it's several episodes or several seasons of a product not being good. You should be able to give an explanation on why something is fun. It could be because it's funny, it's colorful, it's pleasant, you have a good time watching it with your friends, it gives you hope or teaches you a good life lesson. It's got talented actors, wonderful singing, beautiful looking animation, or just in all, you're having fun. The best shows in existence have the perfect balance. No show is perfect. You'll find flaws in any piece of material. As a critic myself, I will always notice flaws in anything. But flaws should not be a thing to ruin a show. On a test, if you got one wrong answer out of 100, did you fail? No, it means you passed with a 99%. A 99% is way better than, say, 1%. It's better to only get one thing wrong than to get only one thing right. To me, a show is bad when it is mostly bad. Often a show can start off good and get progressively bad, like The Loud House, which we'll talk about soon when I get to school next month, or it can be bad start to finish, like High Guy and Spice, which we will also get to next month. Amphibia works for that it has no bad episodes. Even my least favorite episode of the show, The Domino Effect, is not that bad in the grand scheme of things. And if you're wondering, The Hardest Thing is my favorite episode of the show. The clips that I showed you for Amphibia were good, but any show can show clips like that. It's how you get to this part is what makes a show good. I guess a good point is when I got into Amphibia. Well, one reason is me keeping up on what is popular. I got to keep up with current animations, both the good and the bad. If I don't keep up with modern animations, I will be ostracized, and people will not care about what I have to say in my videos. It's why I watch things like Word Girl because of people talking about the show, and why I reviewed the movie Turn Red because a lot of people talked about that film. I was introduced to Amphibia because I found a Friday Night Funkin' mod on it back in 2021. Sure, I first heard of the show back in June of 2019, but I didn't really start watching it yet until last year. Back to 2021. I'm a really big fan of the game Friday Night Funkin', or at least its fan mods. Often people make fan mods of a product promoting me to want to check out the original source. You should check out this show Amphibia with our Sasha mod here. You should check out this show Edgeworld with our Ed mod here. Yes, I really love playing fan mods of Friday Night Funkin'.
Oh my gosh.
Sasha?
Hey, girlfriend!
You know this girl? Used to babysit for extra money. Babe, aren't you literally rich? Whatever.
Friday Night Funkin' mods are weird, but a good weird lol. No, seriously, that's what promoted me into wanting to watch the show Amphibia.
Sasha! Who are the two mini-monsters?
I am a weird person, I know. I am probably weirder than even Marcy. I'm gonna teach you all the secret ingredient to making any show good. That secret formula, of course, is character. Straight up front, if your characters suck, everything else is going to suck. Your story, the acting, the music, and even the animation won't save your animation. I mean, the Amphibia series finale is a typical story. All three girls get to use their magical powers to stop an evil 1,000-year-old demon. Or I guess, demon, since the core consists of a lot of old salamanders. Then they use their powers to defeat it. Anne almost dies, but she gets revived, and the girls have to go home. But they can never return to Amphibia again due to the magic box finally being destroyed. They use the last charge of it, the girls say their goodbyes, some tears are shown for me, the girls! I meant to say the girls! Oh, I can't help it, this is so beautiful. And then we time skip 1 decade into the future, seeing that both worlds are now at peace. Well, technically Amphibia is 9 months into the future, while Anne is 10 years into the future. Weird choice, but okay. I don't know if this is a trend or not to be a success. Like, it seems to be a secret to success, but I'm beginning to think that the secret to making one of the best shows ever is to have your series finale take place years after the events of your current show. Between this, Adventure Time, Arthur, My Little Pony, regular show, and Steven Universe, it seems to be the best option. Hell, if you want to make the argument, Fairy Godparents almost did that with Channel Chasers. Though I don't know if this is just a pet peeve of mine, but one thing that I do have to admit what makes Amphibia great is that it does a lot of things right that other shows don't do quite right. I don't think that I can name a single other cartoon where I don't like at least one character. Amphibia is the only show that I can think of where I can't name a single character that I hate, or even dislike. Amphibia does a lot of things right, and that's what helps me enjoy this finale more. It does things right that other shows either don't do as good, or just flat out wrong. Often a show can usually have one character that is bad and can even fuck it up. Even something as amazing as Kids Next Door, my previous favorite cartoon before Amphibia, had this problem. Lizzie is still awful. With her annoyance and terrible mannerisms, I went into this in my Cartoon Network 64 episode on the show. It's good that Amphibia has a great balance of its character uses. A problem with some shows is them adding in too many characters, especially seasons later. In Fairy Godparents, they were annoying and ruined the show for me, like Chloe and Sparky. Or in Friendship is Magic, they barely got any screen time, making me question why they were added in the first place, like the Student 6. Every character that Amphibia had felt like they had a point. There was never once me asking, what is their point? Why are they here? We should talk about our three main girls first, who suspiciously in The Hardest Thing have the same colors as the Powerpuff Girls from their show. Another cartoon starring three girls that changed the real world and fandoms. Also, both shows fought non-human villains, so there's that. I could say that Sasha is the weakest character of the show, but that's only implied for season 1. In the first season, she was nothing more than a rich snob and a backstabber, but they actually make her realize that she fucked up throughout the show. One part that made me cry was when she read Anne's diary.
I'm so happy I trusted Sasha again. I always knew, even after everything that happened, we'd work it out.
Where did it get me? Well, that ends now. I want to be someone better. Someone that deserves you.
It's powerful moments like that that make this show more human. Yes, as my girlfriend Leslie once said,
the irony is that it's a frog world with a human stating this.
I think Sasha does the mean spoiled girl trope better than Pacifica. I mean, Pacifica is fine. I never hate her as much as someone like Diamond Tiara. No, we don't need to make more episodes with Diamond Tiara being good. She's fine the way that she is. Pacifica is better than that. She at least had the Northwest Mansion Mystery episode that was good, but I feel like once Pacifica became good, they didn't do much with her.
You're only going to have one pony now.
Like, is that supposed to be a joke? With Sasha, they make her a lot better.
Can you believe we just defeated an ancient invading empire?
That's gonna look real good on future job applications.
And we'll have videos to prove it.
No, enough with the plans and the schemes.
But you love schemes. Since when have you cared?
Since I saw the consequences.
Listen.
You missed.
Wanna bet?
Sasha is relatable to me, and for the record, you don't have to make a character relatable to be good. Just because I relate to someone like Starlight Glimmer doesn't automatically make her an amazing character. She's amazing because she's funny, has a great voice, and is just fun overall. Sasha is someone that thinks that has done nothing wrong but has to learn that she made mistakes. Something that I had to do before in my life, unfortunately. My favorite line from Sasha is this.
I am not that person anymore.
What makes this amazing is the fact that not only is Sasha saying this, but we saw her actually grow as a person. If she was saying this as nonsense, as in she didn't grow, it wouldn't have worked. But because we saw her growth, it makes it all the better. Marcy is another person that screws up a lot, and she falls a lot, to the point that they make that part of her theme song.
Woke up in Utopia, rifle down a...
Don't!
Woke up in Utopia, rifle down a...
Ouch! Oh, heavens! Oh, goodness gracious!
A lyric that... that still makes me laugh to this day.
Broke my leg, but luckily the Newts have free public healthcare.
Huh, the show takes place in Los Angeles, California, United States, but I guess Newtopia is in Canada. Anyone remember this?
Breaking news. 500 snakes have escaped from... Wait, is that a middle school student?
Marcy! No!
Marcy lied about the situation that Anne and Sasha are in, because Marcy didn't want to lose their friendship since her parents were making her move. So Marcy did this lie so that her, Sasha, and Anne could be together forever. While Anne was the one to open the box, Marcy is the one that knew about it. Sure, Marcy is only 13, but they're still gonna call out her mistakes. Marcy is kind of the equivalent to Mabel from Gravity Falls. But one thing that makes Amphibia better than Gravity Falls is that the characters get their consequences, at least in this position, as opposed to Mabel and Weirmageddon. Oh hey, I just released a demon into the world because I don't want my twin brother to prosper. Is it cool that I don't get the consequences for my actions? It is cool. I mean, I know that's not what Mabel wanted, but it comes across as that. Marcy, on the other hand, does get the consequences of her actions by trapping her friends in another world, but they still at least make Marcy fun and likable. Marcy goes more in-depth with her trauma, but my favorite moment of Marcy is when she gets out of the core. It's her herself that does this, not an outside force.
This isn't real, is it? Forcing them to follow my dreams is wrong. I've learned that the hard way. No! Only a coward would hide away in this place. Well, I reject this sick fantasy, and I reject you! I started this whole mess because I wanted to escape that reality. But I won't run away from it anymore.
In a bad show or a bad episode, the character in question would be forced to change because if they don't, they would die. Marcy is in a place that would make her be in peace forever, full of adventures and mystery, with her friends always by her side, being happy and doing her bidding. But that's not what Marcy wants. She may think she wants that, but she'd rather face reality than live in a stupid, pointless vanity that means nothing in the end.
We gave you your silly games and your idiotic little friends.
Well, fuck me! That line really has to hurt Marcy. And one more bonus thing about this that makes this show better than some other shows doing the adventure genre, they actually question Marcy's actions. Using Gravity Falls again, when Mabel does her shit, no one really questions what she did, except oddly enough Bill Cipher, the villain. In Amphibia, Anne and Sasha actually talk about this.
I'm just supposed to forgive her? Like it's easy? Forgiveness is hard, and it can take time. Believe me. It's worth it.
And that moment where Anne looks at Hop Hop is great, especially if you know the mistakes that Hop Hop did and the lengths he went to fix it. And finally, the last of our three main girls, Anne. My favorite character on Amphibia is Anne. And the last time that I cared this much for a protagonist in a cartoon was Akko from Little Witch Academia. Akko inspired me so much that I used a witch OC for my channel for 3 years straight. And what do SpongeBob and Patrick say we're supposed to call that?
Worship?
Anne is a character that can break down, get angry, even at the smallest of things. She'll act like a Karen because because a couple of kids just cut her in line.
That is not how any of this works. Doesn't anyone else see this injustice? Calm down, lady. You calm down. I might eat newts for breakfast.
Wanna find out?
Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to take a step back.
Oh yeah, like you're really gonna tase a kid. Anyway, I was right, and that's that.
She threatens by one, but she's even gonna threaten to eat them! On its own, it's not that interesting, but what makes it work is the balance of not just everything else, but the best character. Anna has a healthy relationship with Sprig, deals with actual heavy emotions with Hop Hop, and Polly's just fun and giggles. That's another thing to bring up. Amphibia has a great balance of emotions. You can be depressed if you want, but if that's all you're gonna be, then I'm gonna ignore you and we will get to her! But Amphibia does a better balance than any other show that I've ever seen. And it's not just our 3 main girls that make this show amazing. The planters are also amazing. Sprig, I think, is a very likable kid character. Sometimes I keep forgetting that the actor for him is actually an adult. He has a great balance of actually being obedient and listening to orders, yet he can also be a very funny troublemaker. Anyone remember when he drank coffee?
I'm the time lord now.
Or that time that he upset a newt when he got a haircut?
Yes! Thank you, my good man. And now to put on my hat.
Polly is a girl so amazing that if I were to have a child, I want her to be like Polly. With her love of weapons and destruction, to the point that Hop Hop is even proud of it.
They grow up so fast.
I was legit shocked when I first saw that. Another thing that makes Polly great is her voice. Originally, I didn't know who it was, but then I looked up and found out it was Amanda Leeton, most known for her voice as Blossom in that garbage Powerpuff Girls reboot.
I can't live in this world!
Shit, Amanda was also Poppy in that terrible DreamWorks cartoon Trolls. I find it funny that Amanda is older than I am. I thought that the Powerpuff Girls reboot originally had all child actors, but the only minor actor of the 3 was the actress for Bubbles. And this is proof that we don't give voice actors enough credit, and that it's the voice directors to blame and not the voice actors when they fail. Because she sounds amazing as Polly. The same thing happened with Awkwafina. I thought she was a talentless hack when I heard her in Sponge on the Run and Raya in The Last Dragon. But then here comes The Bad Guys, where she plays a tarantula that sounds good and is very funny. And finally there's Hop Hop. Hop Hop is a character who mostly likes to follow tradition when it comes to doing certain things, but he can learn to break it once in a while for his family. He also may have some of the funniest line deliveries of the show, and that's mostly thanks to Bill Farmer's performance.
It was me!
Yes, that's also the voice of Goofy.
Walt Disney. Right. A game? A game, yeah. Yeah, a game, okay. Man, okay, Walt Disney.
Amphibia is gonna be a show that I come back to years and years from now because of the amazing characters that it has, or had since it is now over. Even the small characters I love. I'm not gonna go over every single character in this video because it would take too long, but I'll list a couple here. Did you know that there are 2 people here that are from Toy Story 2? Wayne Knight, i.e. Al from Al's Toy Barn, plays as Ned in this show.
It's me, it's Al. I got an emergency here.
Go fuck yourself.
Yes, we're all busy. I feel like an outsider too. I love your restaurant so much.
And Wallace Shawn plays Humphrey Westwood. If I had a nickel for every time that an actor was in both my favorite animated film of all time and my favorite animated series of all time, I would have 2 nickels.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Another thing that makes this work is how Andreas is a great villain. He's not just all evil or is just redeemed out of nowhere. There's layers to it. It's better than that stupid bitch Cassandra from Tangled. Ooh, hey, bada bing. But seriously, Cassandra is the worst!
Rapunzel, there is no bond between us anymore, got it?
She was someone that was fine with leaving her best friend in a cave with no way out. And the only reason why she decided to become good is because someone else backstabbed her and Cassandra continuing to hate Rapunzel would make Cassandra herself be dead. And no other reason!
The things I've done, the pain I've caused, there's no going back!
That line there proves that Andreas is someone that has done too many horrendous things and isn't asking for a terrible rush redemption. He'll be someone that fights to the death or spends the rest of his life in prison. He's also a better handled character going with the Zuko trope. The Zuko trope is a villain that isn't a full-on villain, but has someone else controlling them in some sort of way, like through manipulation. It's better than, say, Hunter from the Owl House, an annoying kid that does similar things but thinks he should be forgiven. But you want to know the strangest thing about Andreas? His plot is literally a ripoff of Johnny Test.
Whoa. Didn't see that coming.
I'm not joking. There's an episode called Johnny Test in Outer Space where Johnny and Doogie go to a different planet that's like Earth. Now, obviously, Amphibia does it much better, but that's because Johnny Test was trying to do Star Wars, but everyone else was vegan. Anywho, in that episode, the villain wanted to go to Earth to take its resources, and that's it. Just like what Andreas is doing. King Andreas was the character that I was most worried about getting right, because a lot of shows do screw up their villains, but I think they made King Andreas work. For one, there's no twist villain nonsense or anything that confuses the audience. Oh hey guys, Discord from My Little Pony was Grogar the whole time, even though that goes against his character in every single way, and it would have been easier to just have these two as separate characters to make the plot more sense. But let's forgive him anyway and give him no consequences for his actions. I guess I should talk about King Andreas' voice now because some people apparently had issues with it. If you don't know, that's Keith David. When it comes to voice actors in animation critics often have pet peeves when it comes to voice acting. And I'm no different, though my pet peeve is different from the norm. Some people hate when child characters sound like adults, like in Gravity Falls. Some people hate it when people use their same voice for every character, like how Keith David for Andreas uses Dr. Facilier voice for him. Oh, I almost forgot, there are also two people from Princess and the Frog in Amphibia. And it's not just Keith. The actor Patrick Warburton has almost all of his roles sound like Kronk or Joe Swanson, even though I really love Patrick Warburton as Joe Swanson.
Who wears short shorts? I wear short shorts!
My pet peeve when it comes to voice acting in animation is when you get a talented actor and tell them to be as annoying as possible. Usually when that happens, it's not the voice actor's fault, it's the director's fault. Take Grey Griffin for example. She can be very talented with people like Azula from Avatar, Mandy from Billy and Mandy, and Roxanne from House of Mouse. Still not on Disney Plus, even though I stated that over a year ago. Grey Griffin is often told to play annoying characters in an animation, like Lola Loud.
59 and 60.
Where's the heart?
I like Keith David's role for how powerful he sounds as a villain. And even then, him keeping the same voice I think just makes it funnier in other situations. Like when he is SpongeBob's pet snail Gary. Just imagine, this all-powerful dictator taking over his world and other worlds, also essentially voicing a pet snail/cat.
Now that I have the box back, I can finish the work my ancestors started. From this castle, I will not only rule over this world, but all worlds. Hello there, Papa Bob.
Anyone remember the time when Mark Hamill played an evil cat on the Powerpuff Girls?
I'm stuck in a tree.
Oh, be quiet. Bad kitty. You're barking up the wrong... you're meowing up the...
Also, King Andreas can be funny even when evil.
Eliminate potato chip.
Okay, forget the chips. Kill the girl. Get the book.
Hey, Andreas! Merry Christmas!
Hey, thanks. You too. Wait, no.
And lastly for now, there's Mr. and Mrs. Boonchoy. While there are way more characters to talk about, this is the last one I will bring up for now. I want to focus on the main characters in the series finale. These two are some of the most fun parents in all of animation. They might just be my favorite Disney parents ever.
Hey, X, when the battle's over, can we keep this stuff? That is proprietary government property, Mr. B. So, that's a maybe?
Please, guys, please protect Mr. B, guys. He's a sweet cinnamon bun. He's done no wrong. He's an awesome dad. Also, this is proof that you can have both Disney parents alive and have fun with them. This does it way better than the Owl House. The difference between the two mothers is like night and day.
A demon realm? Magic? Were you trying to live out some witch fantasy? You come home, promise you'll stay here?
Hola, Mama. I know you don't want me staying in the demon realm, but I'm recording this because I think we can find a middle ground.
I was wrong. Don't be silly, Anne. You have grown so much. You're not my little girl anymore, Anne.
We'll be with you the whole way, right here. I'm pointing to your heart in case you didn't get it.
I got it, Dad.
Anne, take care.
We love you.
One thing that is also wise to do is choose your references wisely. Amphibia has had a lot of references over the years, One episode had Marcy playing on Nintendo Switch. It's not random like, say, Total Drama Rama, where it makes you question the characters' ages since they're kids now when they were teenagers years prior. Amphibia takes place in modern time, at least the late 2010s or early 2020s. You can make references work, but they need proper context. Otherwise, you end up doing what Dan Schneider did in Kid Danger and reference Back to the Future out of nowhere. Sometimes it's fun Easter eggs like when Amphibia randomly referenced the game Earthbound. But sometimes the Easter eggs can be even more to the point, like when it referenced other shows on Disney like Pepper Ann and Gravity Falls.
Say, Mr. Pons, you ever get the feeling that we exist simultaneously in multiple parallel universes? You been licking yourself again, Frog Zeus? Caught me again, Mr. Pons.
Of course, other shows have done that as well, but I still think Amphibia did a good job with them. They don't stop the plot. The previous knowledge on these products do help make the references or jokes better, and it's invisible or seems normal if you don't recognize it. You can even reference previous incarnations of your own show.
Hold on, back up. You're telling us there's a whole world of talking frogs called Amphibiland?
Get it? Because Amphibia was gonna be called Amphibiland in production. Oh geez, why does Marcy look like she's trying to be like the Peanuts character Marcy? Same name, I bet. I think the best reference of the show is actually the intro itself. Did you know that place where they opened the box is actually the playground where the three girls first met each other? I think that's an awesome Easter egg. It takes years for products to be amazing. You want to do something like the Emoji Movie and be the fastest anime movie ever? Go right ahead. You'll be mocked and ridiculed, but you'll at least have that gloating right of being fast, and then you'll be beaten by something that actually gives a shit about animation. Because as we all know,
you can't rush art.
Funny story, the first time that I heard of Amphibia, it was 1 month after it came out, because I heard it was being used for that old cow arts debate, which seems ancient even though the show only came out 3 years ago.
It came out on my birthday.
That is true. I originally did want to give this show a review back at the end of the decade. I think it was gonna be on the episode Girl Time, because it was basically the right way to do feminism, and it did it a lot better than the other 2019 cartoon DC Superhero Girls. But then, after a poll that I ran, where I would choose either Infinity Train or this show here, the poll chose Infinity Train. I always knew that the greatest show of all time would be about trains. Infinity Train is my favorite show of all time. It has the perfect atmosphere of characters, humor, tone, and has a great storyline. You know, I was wrong about a lot of things before 2022. Infinity Train being the best show ever? No, not really. It's still good. I love the first 3 books. Still, need to see book 4. I promise that I will do that before I get to its Cartoon Network 64 episode. The fandom is really passionate about Amphibia, from fan art to even a Reanimate collab on the pilot episode. I even saw someone on Twitter do like a dress-up party watching the series finale. I wish I could have done that. I would have loved to dress up as Anne just for fun, and have 2 of my friends cosplay as Sasha and Marcy. The key to making a good show is maintaining an audience, and to make sure it's lasting, that it can still be fun to watch, years later. And I believe that Amphibia will still be fun to watch years later.
My true form would make your human brain explode.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty crazy...
Oh, and I will still be around to make memes of it.
My true form would make your human brain explode.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty crazy...
Who the fuck goes there? Who the fuck are you?
Surprised no one made a meme of this scene yet. Oh, speaking of memes, so my friend Jack and I watched the series finale together on TV, and that had the worst timing for a commercial that I have ever seen. So we see Anne more or less die, and then it immediately cuts to a fucking commercial. It even showed Anne and Spring hugging. It even showed Anne and Spring hugging. Oh, else we didn't see fucking Anne die. It was fun watching this live on TV. Share memories of it with my friends. A lot of people that I talk to love the show. Anyone else, when seeing Anne and Sprig hug, get reminded of Beauty and the Beast or Steven Universe? It looks like a James Baxter animation, but I know that it's not him. I believe it was some Korean animators. Seeing characters cry that don't normally make it all the more better.
Commander.
Lieutenant.
I'm gonna miss you so much!
As soon as I find the pieces of my heart and put them back together.
I think even the part of Marcy forgiving Andreas was shocking. In a good way, mind you, because he honestly did not expect forgiveness.
The things I've done, the pain I've caused, there's no going back!
Goodbye, Andreas.
Take care, kiddo.
I love how in the future Anne named a frog Sprig. Aww, she works with amphibians now. She's a herpetologist at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Hey guys, remember when Anne used to be disgusted with frogs?
Ugh! Frogs are the worst.
What's his name? I named him Sprig, after a dear, dear friend of mine.
Thanks, Frog Lady.
That's character development right there. Look at her now. She loves frogs. They're her life to her. And with all that said, that's what makes this series finale great. You notice that most of this review doesn't talk about the series finale in of itself. That's because the series finale is what's important. It's not just point A to point B. It's how we got to point B that made everything worth it in the end. If the show has a time limit for when you could join, then the show is not that good. I think a show is good if you could enter it at any time. And yeah, I'm being serious that a lot of friends of mine watched this show with me. Well, not at the same time, but when the new episodes came out, we got to talk about them. This show, means a lot to me. And I will be coming back to the show even years from now. This will definitely not be the last video that I will make on Amphibia. I am Return Frogtails. I have decided to return that series. Heck, I'll announce it now. Why not? Next year, when this episode turns 1 year old precisely, so May 14, 2023 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm gonna do a gigantic essay on Amphibia. An over 3-long analysis on it. And I'm gonna call it Amphibia is Amazing and Here's Why. Because it really is the best show ever made. And I want to give the show the justice that it deserves. Because this review here is not good enough for all the things I want to say about this show. As for now, for Anne, Sasha, and Marcy, I really do love their friendship. This is the best friendship ever. Thank you for watching this video. This video was edited by me, Rebecca. If you liked the video that you saw, consider supporting me on Patreon in the description below. Your name will appear at the end of every video, and your OC will be at the beginning of every video. To follow me on any other piece of social media, please check the description below. Thank you for watching. StarGiantProductions out.